For this Fun Friday, I'm finally getting to open a project kit that I've been waiting to play with. Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and I finally have a second to play with this kit that I picked up at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo. It is from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it is an artist trading card kit. This one is themed to movies. We're going to kind of play and see, but I got the whole kit all together. It was on sale for $50, which is a lot, but let's see what we can do with this kit. It's a fun Friday. It's a fun project. This is not a one and done type deal. This is something that you work on over time, but we're going to see what we can make with it. Let's go. All right, so I have literally not even opened this kit to see what is included. We have a full die set. This will cut out a lot of different kind of styled trading cards, the artist trading cards, and then it also has a movie theme to it. I'm not super pumped about the movie theme. I'm not sure that I'm going to use the movie theme with my artist trading cards, but that's okay. I like the dies as well. There was a stamp set included, of which I really liked the ones that you used on the back of the artist trading cards, a stencil, and then this. This is like a thick, it's not, maybe it is chipboard, like extra thick chipboard piece that you pop out all of the little accessories and then you put it together to form a box. Now, when I bought this, I totally thought the box already had the print on the side, like already looked like wood. It does not. It is just this kind of cardboard-ish color. And so I do need to do something to decorate it. I'm trying to see the pieces. I ended up deciding I don't need to punch out all the pieces. Basically what I need is this. This is the basic box. It kind of fits together. I probably could have made something similar to this on my Glowforge. So now I know for the future what it is and what's included. I think if I were to go back, what I would really want to buy from this set would be the set of metal dies, because I like that you can cut out those artist trading cards in the different patterns and with the cool edges and things like that. And then maybe the stamp set, but I would probably try to make my own box in the future. After I am done trying to figure out how this box is going to go together, I just wanted to make sure that it was going to all fit together. What I'm going to do is actually cover it in paper, and I'm going to use paper from Elizabeth Crafts Designs, some weathered wood looking paper, because that's kind of the feel I wanted to go with this set in the first place. Now, in these Fun Friday videos, I'm trying to share with you the process as it occurs. So there may be mistakes that are made. I think the easiest way to cover this with paper is going to be to adhere the pieces to a piece of 12 by 12 paper and then cut it out after the fact. So that's what we're going to go with. I'm going to take some glue. I'm just using kind of a standard Elmer's glue. I'm, in retrospect, Mod Podge might have been a good choice, and I could have done Mod Podge on the outside, of which I still can do that, and I may do that in a future video or just on my own. So I'm going to put the wood all on here, the kind of particle board. That's what it is. You know what? It's not chipboard. It's more like a particle board. So I'm using a paintbrush to thin out the glue, spread it pretty evenly, and then I'm going to go place this piece of paper on a flat surface with something heavy on top, just so that everything adheres nice and strong. Once it has a chance to dry, then I will cut it out, which is its own little adventure. You'll see that later on in the video, so stay tuned for me attempting to cut out all of these pieces. All right, let's talk about artist trading cards. What is an artist trading card? Think baseball cards, think sports cards, think of things that people may have collected back in the day. Well, we are creating artist trading cards. They are a little almost memory decks like piece, a small card that you decorate in a style of your choosing. So maybe your style is a little bit more retro. Maybe you love color. Maybe you love stickers. Maybe you love dimensionality. There's all kinds of ways to create artist trading cards. And the idea being that you would that you would create a bunch of them and that you would literally trade them with other creative, crafty, artist-like people. Now, when you call something art, people immediately go, oh, I can't do that. There are people that color or watercolor or do beautiful paintings or do very intricate stuff, but you're going to see that I'm just paper piecing. That's what I'm going to do. This is nothing that is so complicated that the average crafter could not make. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut out a few of these artist trading cards. I wanted to give all of the different dies a try. So these are some scraps from that same Elizabeth Crafts Designs paper collection that I used for Around the Box. We're going to cut out some of the different dies and then start assembling a few artist trading cards. The idea is that you would fill this whole box with a bunch of different cards. As I was doing the cutting for these, I started to get all kinds of ideas for future cards that I could make, and I thought it was a super fun project to work on. Okay, I'm going to run the dies and the papers through my die cutting machine. I have the Big Shot Switch. It is an electric die cutting machine, which I find to be very easy. Just goes through all on its own. Okay, let's talk about ideas. So you might think I'm not super into mixed media or things like that. Consider this. What if every time you got a new sticker book as a planner girl or a planner guy, what if you created an artist card to represent each sticker book? How fun would that be to kind of flip through for inspiration? I also thought, what about your favorite books? What if you did an artist trading card that had kind of a book cover on the front and had a little synopsis or your thoughts on the book on the back? That would be so fun to create. Here's the deal. The sizing of these cards is what is so intriguing and what is so fun. They are 2 inches by 3 inches roughly, for that size 2 by 3, maybe closer to 3 by 4, somewhere in the middle of that. It's so easy to create one. I think that's why crafters love it, because it's a fun, quick little project that you see immediate results, immediate satisfaction when you're creating it. And it's just cool to see how they kind of come together. And it's not something that's going to be a huge time suck like making a full scrapbook or something like that. For each of the main metal dies that cut out an actual artist trading card, I cut it out of the pattern paper and I cut it out of the white paper because I wanted to stack them together just to make it a little thicker. I was thinking that the pattern paper that I had chosen didn't have the same thickness as other cardstock that I've used, and I wanted to make sure that these were going to hold up. If you just use flimsy paper, the edges are going to get bent and it's going to get worn out. Not that you're flipping through these all the time, but you know what I mean. I just wanted to have it be a little bit more protected. And my other thought was that I wanted to be able to stamp on the back of these and have it be really clear and easy to read. So that's why I ended up doing both sides. So you have the pattern side and then you have a side that will just be white on the back. Now, once I had these all backed with the white, I ended up deciding to layer a few of them together. Some of them were slightly smaller, and so I liked the look of the pieces kind of layered on top of each other. That's going to mean that in the end, I have 4 artist trading cards that I create. Before I fully assemble them, I'm going to add a little bit of edging. I love this look, especially because I had that white on the back. It just was showing ever so slightly. I just like darkening the edges. I think it's a great technique. I used a couple of 3 different inks, a gray, a dark blue, and a brown color, like a vintage color. And the effect it added was awesome. And then once I layered the pieces together, you were able to see the layering a little bit more clearly in the end. So just going through, adding that, and then I'm going to adhere all of my cards together, and that will give me 4 card bases to start decorating. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I often like to do things in what I call an assembly line style, which means that I create in layers, in steps, but like in bulk. So I think this would actually be a really fun project to do that with. Think of maybe taking some of your old scrap papers that you're not sure what you're going to do with and making a bunch of bases for your artist trading cards and stamping the back like you see me doing here. This is all the info that I want on the back of my artist trading card. That's why I love this particular stamp. Stamping the backs and then just having these ready to pull out when you have extra supplies every now and then. So maybe you have a sticker page that only has a few things left and you want something to do with those stickers. Well, pull out a base and add some stickers. Or maybe an ephemera pack where you've used all your favorite ephemera. You only have a few pieces left. Just to finish it out, just go ahead and add it to one of these. I just think it would be fun to have a whole big set of these kind of on the side of your desk ready to go, and just a fun thing to do. This could be a fun way to like memory keep in a way what you've been crafting on a particular week. So just take all the scraps that are on your desk, create a card from it, and then it's like a little snapshot of what your creativity was looking like on that particular week. Once I have stamped all of the back of the cards, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm going to take that Distress Oxide and just go ahead and add a little bit of color to the back, same color that's on the front, just to take off the edge a little bit for that bright white, but still leaving the center pretty darn bright so that it's easy to write in that little space. All right, next I have sped this up because I want to show you this. You don't want to overthink. I have 4 artist trading cards. I just grabbed some things from my junk journal station that is right next to my desk. We have these super cute vintage girls that totally picked up the vibe of what was going on in the background papers. I'm going to add, do I want to add those? Do I want to add buttons? I'm just going through random pieces of ephemera, kind of seeing what I think might go well, what could maybe match up with the same colors, with the same vibe, and not overthinking it. I'm not trying to do a specific theme with these particular cards. We're just kind of putting them together. So I go through ephemera, take out like a stash of things that I think, hey, maybe this could work. Maybe this could work. Just so I'm kind of narrowing it down, what I'm choosing in the end. If you are staring at a craft room full of supplies, it can feel overwhelming where to even start, what to even start putting on these things. So I suggest making yourself a little kit. That's almost like what I did here is I just pulled out a small batch of ephemera from my collections that I thought might work. And then I worked from that as I started putting things down onto the cards. So that way it was less decision making to start with, and I could just start putting things down. And you can see the cards are sized so small, you only have room for maybe 2 to 3 pieces of ephemera, depending on the size. So it doesn't take a lot to put them together, and they're so fun and cute. I love the idea of having that little box all filled up with a bunch of different cards. I love the idea of trading cards with other crafters. With my Patreon members, we did an artist trading card exchange back in April, which was super fun. So it's just a neat kind of project, and they're great inspiration. And if you need a little burst of creativity, like you want to make something, but it needs to be not time consuming, then these are probably the way to go. Now, in this video, I did not take the time to fill out the backs of these cards. I think that that's probably a super important part, because you want to kind of document where the card came from, what was the theme of it, what did it end up turning into, that type of thing, because it'll be fun to look back on. But I ended up with these 4 cards. I love them. I think they're super cute, and I cannot wait to make more. Oops, let's add one more little, how cute will that be? Just kind of sticking up. Yes, love it. Okay, we're going to finish up the cards, and then we got to deal with the box. And you all are probably going to have some great ideas for how I could have done this so much better. Here is the box. It dried, and I have to just go through with a craft knife, with a precision craft knife, with scissors, cutting around all the edges. It wasn't pretty in the end. I'm not going to lie. Some of the edges were pretty rough, which I was not pumped about. I think Perhaps. Let me know if you think this would have been a better idea. If I had put the pieces of the box down on the paper, traced them, and then cut them out before I adhered it. I think that that was probably the way to go. It turned out to be a little bit cleaner, but you live, you learn. This seemed like a good idea, and it just, in the end, was not the winner, but that's okay. You live and you learn. I'm going to cut out all of the different pieces, assemble the box, and then I think off camera, I'm probably going to take the time to do Mod Podge just to kind of get the box nice and secure and make sure the paper is nice and secure on there. And then I can add decorations and probably paint the inside of the box at a future time. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. And I will have the supplies that I used linked down in the description box below. I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon members. Patreon is a fun place to hang out and be inspired. And if you are looking for a crafty community, it is the place to be. Head on over to patreon.com/ScrappyWife. All right. I hope that you have a fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.